Hi everybody, welcome back to the Goodell life. Sorry I've been so irregular lately posting my videos, but today I'm going to be filming at least this part in my new bedroom. I'm loving this blue wall still. It needs a little bit more work, but as you saw in my last video, it's basically done, which is amazing for me. So we'll see how it works for filming. I think it's kind of nice. It's a decent angle. So today we're going to go in a bit more of a spring mode, kind of close the chapter per se on the bedroom. I know it's not 110% done, but it's enough. I don't really know if there's going to be another video of it unless we get a whole ton of new stuff, but we don't have the money for that, let's be real. So let's do some spring DIYs. I've been seeing so many cute faux florals and different things like that for centerpieces, but I just don't have space for a centerpiece of florals in my home, so I thought I would make a little bit of a wreath. Now, I didn't want to invest too heavily in this, so I just went to the dollar store and I grabbed a couple of things there. I grabbed a little bit too much, but that's okay. I can make a little bouquet for somewhere else. So I grabbed a set of 3 of these. I guess are peonies, maybe? Ranunculuses? Is that the word? Ranunculus for those flowers? And a little fern grouping. The peonies were 3 for $3, and this was $1.25 for this. I think it has 6 stems, so that's not too bad at all. Together I put that onto a metal hoop I already had from a winter craft of a wreath I made, and it turned into this. Oops, let's turn it the right way though. There we go. So you can have this kind of on the side like I did, like I did, or you can put it on the bottom. You can do a different arrangement, maybe do a full circle, half circle, play around with it. But overall, I think it cost me less than $10 if you really wanted to include the hoop and the floral wire I used. So really nice and handy, and I love the minimalist look of it. I wish I had a home that could have the nice big full greenery wreaths, but it just doesn't look like it fits in my home. So I will live vicariously through everyone else's that does that. Now, I just want to say before we get into it, if you are new here, thank you so much for following along. Hit that red subscribe button so you don't miss any updates or new videos. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. I just recently hit 1,000 views, which I know isn't a lot in the world of YouTube, but it means so incredibly much to me that in just over a year, 1,000 people or multiple people multiple times have decided to click on to me and see what I have to say and what I'm doing. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and I'm glad that you guys are liking watching my videos. So let's get on to it now. So I got these flowers from the dollar store. It was a bunch of, I think about 3 flowers for $3, which was a little bit more than what I wanted to spend on them, to be honest, but they were some of the nicer ones they had. But they're not stems, whatever this middle part is of the flowers, were these bright like yellow and red, and I was going to paint them black, but I was out of black paint when I got home, so I painted them white. I also got these greenery things. They still have the tag on them. Fern bush, I guess they're called. Did I get the wrong ones? Oh well, these were $1.25 for this whole thing, and I'm going to cut that off so I can use them individually. But I grabbed a couple of those for us to play with. I thought that these maybe not looked realistic is the right word, but they were the darkest green they had. The other ones looked really, really fake, whereas I think these ones from a distance might not look the absolute worst. So I'm going to put those all together on my metal wreath, I guess it's called. It's like a circle hoop. I'm pretty sure it was an embroidery hoop I got from a different dollar store around Christmas time for a wreath I made then, and I just love it. So I'm gonna make kind of a spring wreath of these things, and I'll show you how I do that. So first I'm going to put down a napkin because I'm just doing this on my coffee table. I don't really have a proper workspace. Move some of this out of the way. You'll be able to see my messy coffee table since I didn't fully clean before doing this. And I'm just going to shake up this paint a little bit. It had been sitting for quite some time. I did one coat on these already, but I still think that I could probably use another. I don't necessarily need it to be stark white. I just don't want it to have a lot of the red and yellow. It doesn't really go with my home. I'm going to take one of the flowers. I'm going to just open it up and try to hold it down. Now I did try taking them apart earlier today so that it would be what I thought would be easier, but that definitely isn't. So now I have kind of a fist with all the petals. I can't remember basic words today, you guys. I'm sorry. Petals in my fist so that it opens up the plastic. I don't even know what these are called. I really am not good with words apparently filming this video, so I am sorry. I'm also just not good with anatomy of humans, plants, or animals, or geography if you're wondering on that list of things I'm really not good at. So I'm going to just take a paintbrush. This one was just a dollar store one. I don't even know if I have the pack anywhere. Oh, here it is. I got a pack. It says it was for a brush set for $1.25 for acrylics. I don't know. And I took this one here. Let's see if you can see. Kind of almost looks like a makeup brush, to be honest. It's pretty flexible, but it's not super flexible. So let's just dip some paint in there, and I'm going to do the perimeter around this center part first. I'm going to move the camera so that you can actually see what I'm doing a little bit here. And there's no real science to this. I'm doing it very sloppily because I don't think anybody will be that close. I'm just going to start stabbing my paintbrush in the middle. This is why you don't want something too stiff. Also not something super floppy because it'll just make a mess. And then just paint some of the little stemmy things. Legitimately have no idea what these are called. So stemmy things will have to work. Because I already have kind of a coat of white on here, it's not the easiest for me to see where I'm putting the paint, but that's okay. And this is seriously just like a quick craft, so we're not going to be too particular. Just try to get it to a point you're happy with. Like I said, for me, it's not going to be stark white, but that's fine. I just didn't want a big yellow and red ball in the middle when I had it up with these white flowers. So I'm going to unfold it, kind of make it go back to its shape. The nice thing with fake florals is you can do crap like this to them and they're usually pretty fine afterwards. And so this already looks so much better compared to one that's not painted. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but I can tell in person. This other one that I'm twisting, it has quite a bit of red and yellow on it still. This one's a lot more neutral. So we're just going to keep doing that to the other ones. So now I have all of them painted. Of course I faced them the wrong way so you can't really see, but I think that they look pretty good for what they are, which is just cheap dollar store flowers. I did work at Pier 1 for some time, sold them some of my youth, some of my soul, and I did get a little bit spoiled with some really nice faux florals there, but these ones will have to do because I don't get that staff discount anymore, so I'm too cheap for that, especially to make something like a wreath out of. Maybe if I was having like a semi-permanent display I would, but either way, these ones seem not terrible now. So let's go get the rest of my supplies. So I have it all laid out here. This is that gold hoop I was trying to describe. I also have my floral wire that I still got from Christmas, still have left over from Christmas, which is when I got it, as I was trying to say, and some scissors. These ones are just plain old kitchen scissors that honestly should be sharpened, but It still works, you're just really cutting this and some plastic, so it's not terrible. If you have proper clipper things, I'm sure that's better, but that's fine. I just can't get over how much better these look. Like, they look much nicer than just cheap dollar store ones, I feel now. So I'm gonna try to lay out how I want it to look on the door and see how that goes. So because these are facing each other and I want the nice side out, but both sides are the bad side, I'm just gonna cut this off. Oh my gosh. Oh, there we are. I was like, if I can. There's one little leafy. So I take back what I said about just using kitchen scissors. If you have proper clipper things that are meant for cutting through wire, definitely use those for cutting these parts, because this part is actually really hard to do with kitchen scissors. I'm gonna see if I actually need to cut this other one open first, because that was a lot of work. I was imagining it kind of pinched just in the bottom there, like that. I'm gonna play around with it some more. Like that. I just laid these out. Might just do that, is do more of a minimalist look with it, now that I'm seeing what that looks like. Just do the three kind of off to the side with some greenery. See if you can see that. I think that is more of what I want it to look like. The other one looked a little bit too traditional for me, I think. So I want them to kind of be staggered. So do that. Floral wire is very handy. The downfall of the floral wire with this project specifically is that my wreath itself is actually gold, whereas the floral wire is green. But that's okay. We will make it work. So you want to pull it really tight when you're wrapping things with floral wire, because it will unravel on you, even though it is wire. So, got that bunch together. That's not terrible. Just gonna tie a knot in it though. I really want to mitigate not cutting these at all, because I might want to use them for other things down the road. I'm going to just leave that on there, those tails, or wrapping it around the actual wire itself, or not wire, wreath itself. So leave that on there. And so to hide those, oh no, I think I might have fallen out of camera. To hide those, I'm going to put another piece of greenery just over top, so it doesn't look so weird just having the tails of the stems of the flowers hanging out. Our first piece of greenery. So I'm going to grab a whole big long piece of this, because I don't know how much I'm going to end up using. Gonna find a piece on here. The first one's always the hardest because it's pretty slippery, so I'm just gonna hold this up to me actually out of camera so I can do it. So now that I have the first loop around it, still really loose, but I'm gonna place my second leaf on it, and I wanted this one to be a little bit lower and staggered. So I'm gonna just pull this down and wrap it over through this way. doesn't have to be super pretty, but you don't want it to be really obvious either, so try to not mush your leaves too much while you're doing it, which is obviously a more important thing to watch for when you're doing it with real greenery, but fake greenery, kind of same rules apply in that regard. If you have things that are munched underneath, it's not going to sit very nice. By sit, I definitely meant lie. Hold it up every so often and just make sure when you give it a little bit of a shake that it's not going to fall off and that it hangs in the ways that you'd want it to. This little leafy, I wish it was a little bit higher, but maybe if I wrap my wire around him, I can give him a little bit of a tug upwards. Now to attach the flowers, I'm going to just weave it through to get to the stem that's the closest to the actual wreath itself, and wrap it around. You'll want to do that a couple of times. I mean, use your judgment, see if it feels secure or not as you're doing it. A lot of this is by feel, which isn't really easy to describe, I'm sorry. Let's see here. Let me hold that. That's not too bad. Oops. Little petal there, got it a little bit crinkled. I can see it's trying to turn though, so I'm going to pull this over some more. And as you can see kind of in here, it's not very nice. It has lots of wires and it's very ugly in my mind. Oh gosh, a little twisted, see? That's why you hold it up every so often. But that's why I want that last piece of greenery to just cover that up. I'm going to use 2 pieces of greenery down at the bottom to hide the stems of the flowers, just to make it a little bit fuller. Now, because we had used up the ends and the tails from before, I'm just going to cut another piece. Okay, I think that's probably good. I didn't really tie off any pieces, I just kept twisting them until I felt like it was on there pretty good. So I could have it like this, I could have it at the bottom, have it kind of off to the side. So now my wreath is all done and I can put that on the door. So that is how I did this wreath. I think it cost less than $10, as I said before. So if that's something that you went ahead and made, give me a tag on Instagram so I can see it, or send me a picture. I would love that so much to see what you guys come up with. And I hope you all have a wonderful day and week, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.